on the Wado Radio Show.
Of course, man, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry. It's been a little while since we had this brother on the phone with us, man. It's been a lot of things that have happened, but I'm glad he's here, man. He's been making huge strides in the culture and just impacting a lot of people, man. Lecrae's on the line with us, man. What's up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How we feeling?
Feeling great, man. Feeling great, man. How's everything been with you, bro?
Oh, man, you know, it's 2016 has definitely been a roller coaster ride, but you know, I think it's smooth sailing. Hopefully, from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, you've divulged a lot of, I guess, personal information in many of your recent interviews. Obviously, the death of your cousin, questioning your faith, but then I'm even seeing you reconcile with like Sho Baraka and things like that. And so, this seems like this period has been a lot of incredible, I guess, career moments for you, but some difficult personal moments for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, you know, just goes to show, like, you know, no matter how great things are, you know, that there's really no kind of accomplishment or achievement that can bring you ultimate joy and satisfaction or kind of keep the pain of life kind of from coming your way. But at the end of the day, man, I'm just grateful for perseverance, you know.
Sure.
Grateful for perseverance and just the ability to make it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'm just curious about this, man. How did you and Sho get back together, bro? Like, I think that was just real dope to see you on this new album, and you know what I mean? Like, you know, you guys really supporting one another.
Yeah, you know, it took some years to really to kind of behind the scenes for us to develop, you know, just the relationship. I think at one point in time, you know, I mean, we sort of kind of grew up together in a way. You know, we were roommates, and then when I moved to Atlanta to be a part of Blueprint.
Yep.
When I moved to Atlanta to be a part of Blueprint, that was really kind of where, you know, I think both of us had a lot going on. Like, our plates were really full in terms of both music and Blueprint, and he was kind of figuring out what lane and direction he wanted to go in, and I just didn't see it. You know, we just didn't see eye to eye on it, and I think us not seeing eye to eye on so many different things, it didn't necessarily cause a friction for me, but it definitely caused, like, well, you know, we probably won't be as close as we were, and I give it to Sho because I think he had, like, it was like a final straw, like, yo, like, I can't let you sit out here and kind of have the perspective, the blind spots that you have. So he came to my house, and he challenged me. You know, he challenged me in a couple of ways, and he asked me some hard questions. And I'll never forget, he recommended some books, and I went and read them. And I think that really kind of like made me say, yo, this dude's not crazy. I need to, you know, he's not crazy. I need to, like, think through some of the stuff he's saying. And it was really life impacting for me. And I think from there, I just began to continue reaching out, and we just started building a little bit more, and you know, just rekindling, and the trust was there. And so now he's, you know, I probably talk to him every other day, you know, through, you know, texting or whatever. But so it's just dope, man.
Man, that's powerful, bro. Reconciliation is always a powerful thing, dude.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful.
You've sometimes when I want to see something interesting, I'll look at your comment section on Facebook or Instagram. And, to be honest with you, my brother, I really don't see how you deal with it, because you got there's some crazy people that have said some crazy things to you over the years, man.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And I totally see how some of that has caused you to kind of, you know, just question certain things, question your faith, that kind of thing. How are you coping with that now? Like, you seem to be in a really good space.
You know, so like it's almost like you categorize it. Like, you look at, I do anyway. I don't know if everybody does this, but I look at like social media. Twitter is usually there's just not enough room to spew ignorance. So I feel like Twitter, you have to be kind of witty to get your point across in an engaging way. And most of the time, if you're witty enough to do that, you probably ain't saying nothing really outrageous, or you can handle the meaningful dialogue. Instagram is like, it's like rarely do people just say, it's like rarely do people write paragraphs, but so it's kind of like, it's not that big of a deal. Plus, I don't really go to Instagram for comments. I go to Instagram to look at pictures. So Facebook is like mostly to read what people are saying. Mm-hmm. So people feel like that's their place to just be as expressive as they want to be, whether it's positive or negative. And I just don't even go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may post something, or send it to my team and they'll post it. But I'm like, I just don't even go there. It's rare, like maybe like once every so often. So I don't really know what people are saying when they say it. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, how do you deal with what these people said? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know what they're saying on Facebook, because this is a place where, I go like rarely. I don't read those comments. If I do, if I'm on Facebook, it's like, checking out my friends or something like that. But so I don't really, and it's not real. That's the other thing about social media. Like, these people would never say this stuff to your face ever in a million years. So it's almost like, it's just not real. It's not a real place. It's like, okay, cool, if that's how you feel, but no one's ever walked up to me and been like, you're a terrible person. I wish you would stop making music. Nobody ever does that. So, if anything, once people see you in person too, that's the funny thing about it. Like, I've asked to meet people. I'm like, yo, let's meet, and they end up like wanting to be mentored. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird dynamic.
Yeah, that is a weird dynamic. You had a article that you wrote for the Huffington Post a few weeks ago, and you said something very interesting in there that I think has been a big theme in your music as of late in terms of social justice and all those issues. And you kind of pointed to that time period where Mike Brown was gunned down in Ferguson and Eric Gardner choked in New York as kind of I don't know if a wake-up call is the right word for it, but
it's good.
Just a point where you said, you know what, man, like, this is a real issue, and you began to speak out. What was it about those two things for you? Because, I mean, I've heard you even articulate this isn't a new problem, but clearly there was something about those two situations that kind of made you kind of switch directions here a bit.
I think it's kind of like it was subdued for so long. So it was like a subdued issue. So, just being in the Black community, it exists, mm-hmm. but it's kind of like it's the subdued thing. So you don't think about it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's subdued. So, but then when it like is blatant and it's out front, you're like, oh wow, look at the things that I know happen all the time, like caught on camera. Clearly now. People are going to have some thoughts and say some stuff. And it's like, oh, wait, we still quiet? We still not addressing this? We still acting like this is not real? So it was almost like a slap in the face for me, where I felt like, man, this has been an issue. This has been a thing, and we're still not really talking about it. And so that was kind of like a breaking point for me when I wanted to talk about it, and people tried to hush me. And I was like, wow, people are really trying to hush me. And, just hearing from people saying they felt like I was kind of this evangelical mascot and an evangelical mascot, and that I just didn't know what, I wasn't using my opportunities wisely. And that was kind of frustrating for me as well. So that's kind of what set it off.
Who was trying to hush you? Like, what? I mean, I know there were like fans and people like that. Like, I know you've gotten that backlash, but were you even getting this from like people, gatekeepers in the industry and stuff like that? Like people that the average person doesn't see?
Yeah, I mean, it's leaders. I mean, there's leaders, there's thinkers, there's communicators who, are like, Do you think, this is this? Do you think maybe, I mean, there's agencies and people who say maybe you should, think about this,
Wow.
trying to like, not in a like, you need to be quiet, but in a like, hey, this, I think maybe this is a little bit of this. You get private DMs from people who, who say stuff like, there's one focus we should be thinking about here, and it's kind of like, wow, like this is real, like this is really happening, and I think that's when stuff really started to frustrate me, even more.
Wow. Why do you think? And this is 2016, and during the civil rights movement, a lot of evangelical leaders were silent. And we're 50 years later, and there's still injustice going on, and a lot of them are still silent. Why is that, bro?
I mean, I'm sure there's tons of reasons, and I don't ever want to assume the motives of everybody. But I mean, it's those who I've talked to who, have these conversations. Some of my, friends who walk in and out of those circles will say, some of it is fear, some of it is just pure oblivion. Like I don't deal with it enough to have a sensitive perspective on it, and or even want to investigate the authenticity of it. And then I think, I think some people it's a matter of control. It's a matter of and you got to remember, at the end of the day, it's a systemic infrastructure that we all exist under. And if we believe that, humanity is depraved, then why would we ever believe that the systems that humanity functions under are not depraved, right? So it's a system built on pride. It's a system built on power. And those things are deeply embedded into our society. So it's hard to see them. Fish doesn't know he's wet. So it's hard for people to see, like, no, this is the way our society is functioning. It's just this little things when people say, man, I don't get it. And I'm like, man, I could do something as simple as I told one of my friends, I said, man, just think about something as simple as a Band-Aid. I can't find a Band-Aid to fit my skin tone. It's never a problem for you to find a Band-Aid to fit your skin tone. That's a very simple, very, very easy little drawn down thing. But then you blow that up 10,000 fold, and you realize, oh man, that's if I was in China, no one would be surprised that everything was in Chinese, right? It wouldn't be a surprise. I think it's what it is in America. We feel like, wait a minute, aren't we collectively American? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that becomes an issue. If we're not collectively, if it's really like, no, it's not about the collective, it's about one aspect of this population, then that's a different story. But if we're saying, equality and everyone's represented here, well, then we're not doing a great job of demonstrating that.
Man, that's good, man. That's great thoughts, bro. I know we're kind of pressed for time here. I did want to give you an opportunity to just share some thoughts on DJ Official. Obviously, he's impacted a lot of us. You knew him in a much more intimate way than the majority of people, probably, especially outside of his family, bro. And so, man, he's definitely a big influence on me in a lot of different ways. And so just wanted to give you that opportunity to share anything on your mind, man, that maybe you haven't shared yet.
Yeah, one thing I would say is that a lot of people don't know Fish is the one that gave my kind of like my demo to Wells from Cross Movement.
I've heard that story.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he cut out all the verses he didn't like. Songs he didn't like.
Now that I didn't know.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, gave it to Wells, man, and he was like an early champion for me. Early on, and just being able to get his production was a big deal for me because I didn't know it was possible. That everybody wanted a Fish beat, and to finally get one was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. And just we became like good friends. So there was the one thing I would say is just being honest. There was so many times being on the road with Fish where I was concerned for his spiritual health, and and he would say that everything that he went through physically made, like intensified his hunger, intensified his growth and his maturity to places he never would have imagined. So, like he said, I would never trade this for the world. I genuinely believe all of this brought him closer to the Lord. And so, I'm really grateful. He was really impactful in his last days, and just inspiring people and trying to make sure that, he was doing things to impact people's lives. And so, I think a lot of folks don't realize that he was really like serious about using his time on earth to change people's lives. You know what I mean? So that's the things that I think a lot of people don't realize.
Are you guys going to put out a DJ official album?
Yeah. So right now he has a hard drive, and we're just trying to secure all of the music off of his hard drive, and and do it delicately and do it right. You know what I mean? So I've been talking with his wife, and Alex Medina kind of wants to be the brainchild on that project because, obviously Alex is a producer and he was mentored by Fish too. So,
yep.
So Alex and I are collaborating to just kind of try to make some really dope happen with that.
Man, that'd be great, brother. That'd be great.
Yeah.
We getting some new Lecrae album soon? Project, mixtape, something?
Man, I've been working hard, man. I've been working hard. So I'm anticipating putting some music out soon. I know people are waiting. I know they're anticipating it, and it's just got to be right. I think the world is watching, and so it's just got to be right. But I do anticipate putting it out, before it gets hot outside.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair. I guess you letting Trip have his cold season, right?
Yeah, Trip can have the way too cold. He can have a lot of it, and I'll try to come around and warm it up a little bit.
Yeah. Hey man, I want to say this publicly. I know I've shared some of this with you privately, but I wanted to say this publicly. Like, you and I have had some disagreements over the years, and I just want to publicly apologize to you for anything that I've done that has either hurt your feelings, bothered you, been incorrect or anything like that. And I just want to thank you for even accepting my apology before in private. But I just felt the need to say it publicly because some of it has been public, and I think it's only right that people understand. Even just us having this conversation, for me at least, was a big step even in helping to repair our relationship. So I thank you for that, bro.
Oh, it's all love, man. That's all good, man. We all human. That's what we do, man. We go through tunnels of chaos only to come out on the other side, stronger. So, I'm grateful for folks like yourself, for that type of humility and that type of honesty. That's the only way we can move forward as a society. So, man, continue to set that example. I appreciate it.
Man, absolutely, my brother. Well, it's always a pleasure, man. Even though we haven't done this as frequent as we have in the past, it is. We continue to support you, bro, and most importantly, keeping you in prayer, dude.
Thank you, man. It means a lot, bro.
No problem,
Keep
homie.
it up. Yeah, appreciate the support, dude.
On the Way Radio Show. On the Way Radio. On the Way Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.